Okay, here's part 2 of creating a grade sheet using Google Docs. And the next thing I want to do is I want to start putting in a place where students can put their, or I can put their scores, the teacher can put the scores. And so basically I'm going to have all these labs can be 100 points, keep it nice and even. And so a student might get 90 points or 80 points or whatever they get. Most they can get is 100. They don't turn it in, they get a 0. And so we'll track all of their scores as they go through the class. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it and put a bunch of fake scores in here so we can work on that. Okay, so I threw a bunch of scores in here. They're not really random, all that random, but we can use them. And what I want to do is I want to make it so that depending on what score they get a different color. So if they get 100, then they get like purple. If they get 90, they get some kind of green. 80 is yellow. And then if they start getting 70, that's like starts getting red. And if they totally bomb it, then they get black, which is terrible. So that's called conditional formatting. And so what we want to do is we want to have the cell change colors based on the value that's in that cell. So to do that, I click on the cell that I want to conditionally format, and I'm going to, I could select all of them, or I could just select one and then copy and paste, but I'll go ahead and select all the cells that I want to do this with. And I'm going to then go to Format, and down at the bottom, or near the bottom, I've got Conditional Formatting. So we'll go ahead and click that. Okay, so here's the Conditional Formatting dialog box. I've got text contains. I can change this so that we're dealing with values. And I'm going to try to do everything with using pretty much in between, or is between. And so if the number is between 0 and 60, then I'm going to change the background color to black, and I'm going to change the text color to white. Okay, so I'm going to then add another rule, and the rule is that if it is between, I'm not sure if this is inclusive or exclusive, we'll figure it out. We'll say is between 60 and 70, that the background color is going to turn red, because that's pretty bad. Or no, let's make it orange. Okay, then we'll have another rule, and if the score is in between, let's say 70, got to change it between 70 and 80, then we'll say the background color is light green. And then if it's between 80 and 90, the background color is dark green. And then if it is between 90 and 100, or maybe just say, instead of saying between, we'll just say if it's greater than 90, then it's going to be purple. That's the royal color. Okay, so I'm going to save it. And now I can see that my gradebook is now changed. I can see that students can quickly look and say, oh my gosh, I did really poorly. If I put somebody at 90 here, that's going to change to that green. 91 is purple. So that's a way that we can conditionally format things. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a percent of total and a running grade and a running total. And so what this does is it allows the student to track their progress as the class is going along. So on the first day of school, they will have basically everything is going to be 0, and But we want them to know how they're doing as a total of what they're supposed to have done by that time, and then to know their final grade. So I'm going to have what's called a running total, and then I'm going to have a percent of total. Okay, I'm going to squeeze these in. They're not wrapping around. So I'm going to have to change it so that they're set on text wrap mode. So I'm going to highlight them, go to Format, and go to Text Wrapping and choose Wrap. Okay, I'll adjust the size a little here so it fits on 2 lines. And then I want to center them again. So I'll go to Horizontal Alignment, change it to Center. And so that looks pretty good. If I like, I can go ahead and give it some kind of background color. And in this case, I think I'm going to change it to a tan background color. It's a little too orange. Okay, so there's a background color. I'm going to make all of, well, I'll just leave it like that. Okay, so in order to track the running total, what I need to know is how many points the person has completed of the points that are possible, and what percent that is. So I'm going to have some new columns here. One is for the total possible points, and another one is for the running total. So these assignments are all worth 100 points. So I can just change that to 100. And then if I grab the corner here, I can just drag it and make all of the assignments and labs worth 100 just by pulling that out. Okay, so that shows how many points are possible. And then we'll have the running total, which is how many of the points that are possible are due. And so right now, let's say that they've done 3 weeks of class. They've got 3 weeks of labs due, so those are all 100. But the rest of the assignments are not due yet, so those are all 0 as far as the running total. Okay, then I'm going to sum these all up. So I'm going to say equals, and I can say equals sum, and put a parenthesis, highlight, or I could just write in what I want the cell to be. It's going to be C17, and then a full colon means through, and then CQ, sorry, Q17. Then I can hit enter. Okay, so that time I just typed the formula right in there instead of doing it the easy way. This next one I'll do it the easy way. Click on the cell, we go hit the sigma button, choose sum, and then highlight the cells that I want to add together. Okay, so now I've got the total, the running total, that's the points possible, and this is the total points possible for the entire class. And basically what I want to say is how much total points they have divided by the running total. That'll give me what percentage they have. So I'm going to have a mathematical equation, and I'm going to say that this equals their score divided by the running total. And that gives me a 0.99 for this one student. That's a pretty hairy percentile there. I can see here that they got 100%, and then 95, and then 95, so I would expect them to have a good grade here, and they do. But I want to change the formatting of this, so instead of being a decimal, it's going to be a percentage. So to change it to a percentage, I can go over to the number format bar here, and I can choose the format as percentage. So I'll click on that. It gives me a 96.67. I'm not really concerned about the last 2 digits, so I can move the decimal over, and I can either decrease the decimal places or I can increase them. I want to decrease this. If I click 1, it gets rid of 1 decimal point. If I get rid of 2, it gets rid of both of them. So now it just says 97% rounds up.